Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Gauri Khandalia. Now, it's a historic day for India today. Team Skyroot has launched India's first private space flight from Sriharikota successfully. The rocket, Vikram S, named after Vikram Sarabhai, took off at 11:30 a.m. and flew to an altitude of 89.5 kilometers. The mission, named Prarambh, included payload made by Indian students and other startups. This moment has marked a new era for space in India. India is all set to become world's space hub. And joining us now is a very special guest who needs no introduction. K Sivan, former chief of ISRO, is joining us. He was, of course, the brains behind a lot of what happened today. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. My first question to you is, you led India's push for private sector in space. Now, how do you feel today?
Really, I am excited. I must congratulate this Skyroot team for achieving a very good flight by today morning by 11:30. And in fact, that when the space sector reform was formed in 2 years back, it was have a very great vision by our Honorable PM to bring that private parties to come into the picture, as well as to do the space activities, including the launch vehicle, satellite, service, everything. And today I could see that the first rocket launched by a private player has happened very successfully, the first attempt. It's a very great achievement for the young startup as well as the private people, and it should give an encouragement for the people, and definitely it is going to make a very huge change in the space activities in India in the coming years.
So, what can you tell us about the work that was done to actually get to this moment of our first private space launch?
When the decision was made by the government of India for opening up the space sector for the private parties, there are many issues we need to solve. That is, first of all, this particular activity, space activity, it is having a dual purpose activity. So we must have a very good, excellent system is required for regulation and authorization. Simply they cannot launch on their own. So that's why the in space, the single window authorization system has been created, and also that is to make the private people to do this job very effectively. We need to have the space policy. Also, that is we must have a Space Act bill.
Right.
And it's a very complicated task. It's a lot of activities happened for the last 2 years. Now this system, every system is in place. So they are really doing so it is making them to do the work with easily, and that's what this boys, the Skyroot boys, they have done. This one.
Right. So, what was the vision that you had as the ISRO chief when you actually began working on private sector space missions?
This mission is having two objectives in the mind. Number one, the number of satellites required to do the services requirements is increasing exponentially. That is number one. And this ISRO alone cannot meet the requirement, otherwise we have to expand that ISRO exponentially. That is not possible. So that how to meet the increased requirement, that is one. And second one, even though we are the spacefaring nation, out of the total space economy globally, our contribution is only just 2%. So how to increase this our contributions to the space economy, how to bring the space activities in India from other countries so that our economy can be increased. With these two visions in the mind, these private people are required, because by bringing the private people, number of people doing the activity will be very large. And also that we know that is a very good, enthusiastic and bright the students as well as the private people are available in India. Why not make use of these bright minds to increase the satellites for meeting the requirement, as well as to do the service for the foreign nations, so that we can grab the sizable amount of space economy. These are the visions we had in the mind when while opening up the space sector with the space sector reform.
Right. So, what is your message to all Indians to help them understand the importance of this moment?
Now, this launch really giving is a very good message. That's number one. Even though it's a sounding rocket launch, it's a single stage rocket launch, this success of this mission is giving a very good message to the private people as well as startups to encourage to take up the space activities with very ease. Usually the space activities is a very complicated activity, very time consuming and very risky, and where cost intensive. And at least this mission is established that a startup could do these activities very successfully. This gives the message to that remaining part of the private industries as well as that the startups already working on these activities. It is giving enthusiasm as well as it will be giving courage for the big industries and other people to jump into the space activities very soon. This is a message I feel that it will give.
So, what does this mean then for the legacy of Vikram Sarabhai and APJ Abdul Kalam and the pioneers of India's space mission when it began?
When we had this first launch of the similar rocket in 50 years back in Tumba, it was done by the government agency led by the Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, and now the same activity, whatever the high-tech activity, whatever done by an organization, can be done by a startup. So that means that a technological growth is so high, and also there is so much interest with the youngsters, and they are working with the enthusiasm. So definitely there's a datum shift in the way of thinking, as well as that have in the mind of the youngsters that yes, we can achieve many things. Even we can achieve very high-end technology without any problem. So this message, this is really giving to the country at this moment.
Right. InSpace was created, sir, when you were the ISRO chairman. How would you define the future of space sector in India now?
Definitely the space sector in India is having a bright future, and InSpace really he is supposed to do not only authorization, it has to promote the space activities by private people, and they have to facilitate the private people to interact with the ISRO systems for making use of the ISRO facility for them. So InSpace having not only one job of only that authorization, it is having authorization task, the regulation task, it's having promotional task, that's the more important, and it is having that ensuring the safety and security. Also it has to facilitate the private players to make use of the ISRO's facilities. That way the InSpace having very huge agenda in front of them, and I am sure that they are doing the job very nicely, and they should propagate or promote this the space activities by private player to be taken up in large. That should be their job, so that more and more private players can come and do the space activities. By doing that one, definitely the space activity in India will be in a different shape, or at least it will be on par with the other countries in the world. we will be able to achieve. That the in-space having a major responsibility on that.
Right. In your opinion, sir, can India now beat the likes of Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk in our private space sector?
No, that I won't say that they are going to beat some X or Y. That is not that one. The what I could see is there is they are having the bright future, and they can do a lot of work, and they can take the high tech job on hand, and they can make it execute that high tech job successfully. This message they are giving, definitely they will grow further and further, and I am sure that they will reach very soon to that orbit. And similarly, once they are reaching that orbit, they will have that further plan of sending humans. All those things they may have in their agenda later. That I don't want to tell right now.
Dr. Sivan, what do you see then as the next priority areas which need, to take leadership in the space sector?
See, this what I wanted to do is that the space activities involved not only launching rocket. Launching rocket is one of the activities. But another activity, very important activity for private people on hand is the making satellite. That is the second part. That also equally competitive, equally complex and important the system, because that only doing the service. And the third part is the space activity part is not only making rocket, not only launching the rocket, not only making satellite, not only launching the satellite. The end product is in the downstream. That is mainly providing service using the satellite. That is having more important activity. It is there, and this rocket as well as satellites are upstream activity. The downstream activity is the real service it is going to provide. So the startup or private industries have to concentrate in all the areas of rocket, at the same time satellite, then providing the services. Also not only these services, producing equipments, ground equipments to provide service. So there are multiple area of the space activities really on the anvil. And definitely there is a very good future for that entire country of the country's youth. They have the opportunity to do the space activities, not only a launching, not only satellite, not only put a satellite in the orbit, mainly their applications of the satellite, that is the end product, that they have to concentrate and bring to the nation, as well as to provide the service to the other country, so that to bring the economy. These are the things in our hand.
Right. Right. So most of us now know about the Nambi Narayan case. Now, after this episode, what do you think we need to do to ensure that we protect India's scientists, our best minds in the private sector as well? How do we do that?
No, definitely that is that all scientists are very, very safe, and enough security, safety is provided for the scientists. And definitely that is that when the private parties are now coming into this picture to do that high-end tech, definitely the Space Act bill, as well as this the space policy, and as well as the regulatory mechanism in space will provide all those things required for the safety and security of the scientists, as well as the private people doing the high-end job.
So finally, before we let you go, there is a lot of excitement and there's a lot of chatter around the Gaganyaan mission as well. What can you tell us about the mission and other upcoming ISRO missions?
Now, Gaganyaan is the most prestigious mission for the government of India announced. It is a challenge given for the ISRO. And Gaganyaan mission required a lot more new technologies. We had very expertise in the launch vehicle and we had expertise in the satellite. At the same time that the ground segment also we had expertise. When we talked about that Gaganyaan mission, that it is the human life is involved. The human safety is paramount in this particular mission. So a lot more technology is required for ensuring the safety of the astronauts. That is the one. Second one, that is we need to provide the conducive environment for the astronauts while they are in the space. So there, then we need to create that the Earth-like atmosphere when they are in space. So we created a new technology called ECLSS, that is Environment Control and Life Support System. That is a one. And the third part is that human science is another technology we need to develop. And along with that, we have to prepare the astronauts for the space mission, physically and physiologically and psychologically, that they have to be prepared for the mission. So that requires a lot of technology is required. And also when they are in space, in case they are while traveling or when they are in space, in case some emergency is happening, that we should bring them back safely to the earth, either during flight or in space. All this required a huge amount of technologies to be developed. That development is going on in the all around way, along the different ISRO centers as well as other organizations in the country. So this is the Gaganyaan mission is not only ISRO's mission, it's the country's mission. Because not only ISRO, lot more organizations in India is contributing for that. So all these technologies, when they are doing that, it need to be demonstrated for flawless function of that during flight. That testing is right now going on. Once this testing is going on and once is demonstrated all the technology, then they will integrate and put together as a mission. But instead of the human, one humanoid will be there. With that, they will have a mission, that is unmanned mission. Then with that, we can get back that what are the things happen in the flight, and based on the flight performance, we will assess whether everything is intact as we expected. If it is not required, we once again will tune and have the second mission. And after getting the satisfactory performance from the second mission, only the Gaganyaan mission with the real astronauts will fly. That is the type of work is involved. So right now the all-around development and testing is going on, and the ISRO is having a lot of plans to have a series of tests and demonstration. After that, we will be having the Gaganyaan mission. That is our plan.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. K Sivan, for joining us on this very special broadcast. It is indeed a historic day for India, and we salute you and your service and everything you've done to build this sector when you were the ISRO chairman, and now, of course, you continue to do so. Thank you so much for joining us.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.